5 minutes after 9 o'clock. Thank you for tuning in this Thursday morning. It is time for Veterans News. Hank Whittier is not in the studio right now. Gary Pascale is sitting in Hank's place. Good morning, Gary.
Good morning, Larry. Good morning. Fortunately, this morning we do not have any DOD casualties to report. But however, unfortunately, we do have a couple of fire casualties, and we have one law enforcement casualties. I'll go ahead and start with the firefighter casualties. The first one is Police Fire Lieutenant Curtis Norsdeck. He died on May 19th, 2015. He was with the fire department at Wrightsville Steam Engine and Hose Company, number 1 in Wrightsville, Pennsylvania. And then we have Captain Andy Zalmay of the Dakota City Fire Department in Dakota City, Nebraska, and he passed away on April 16th of 2015. And unfortunately, we also have a law enforcement casualty. We have Deputy Sheriff Gil Dayton of the Coos County Sheriff's Office in Coos County, Oregon. His end of watch was April the 20th of 2015. Our thoughts and our prayers are with the families of these firefighters and this police officer.
Amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found. Was blind, but now I see.
It's good to be here this morning on this beautiful day, and we want to thank our sponsors, of course. First and foremost, WOCA Radio, or we couldn't be on the air every week like we are to keep you veterans informed as much as we can. So we want to also thank our sponsors at Bob Wine's, Camellia Garden and Nursery. In this beautiful time of year, the weather, it's just so great to get out there, and what a wonderful nation we have. What a wonderful city and county we have here. So let's keep it beautiful. Let's get down to Bob Wine's, get you some beautiful flowers, get you some plants. When it comes to your landscaping needs, Bob Wines has it. If they don't have it, you probably don't need it. Anything from small plants to large trees. And the neat thing about the trees is they'll even deliver them. And if they plant your tree, they guarantee it. If it dies, they'll replace it. You can't beat a deal like that. They've been keeping things blooming in Ocala since 1952. And they're located at 2610 Southeast 38th Street in our own beautiful Ocala. And when you go in there, if you let them know you're a veteran, and of course let them know you heard about them on WOCA, you'll get a 10% discount. You can't beat a deal like that. And we also want to thank the folks and put a good word in for the Ocala Ford dealers who serve Gainesville, Leesburg, the Villages, Bellevue, and of course Ocala, okay, and their main office is located right there where it always was at 2816 North Pine Avenue in Ocala. They have used cars, they have new cars. You can lease a car there. If you need a hard to find part, they got it. And if your Ford is broke down, which usually don't happen, they'll fix it for you. You get there, get one of them brand new Fords, buy it from a baby. You know, my Ford is 18, so it's a teenager now. But I hope to have it, well into to adulthood, 20 years or so. So, go ahead and start your relationship with a Ford and get it from one of your local Ford dealers. Okay, Don, you got any announcements?
Oh, not much. Except tomorrow's my birthday.
Well, happy birthday.
Oh, yeah, I'm gonna be 57.
Oh, wow.
Right. Or just the opposite, I think so. But I look out there now, and a few minutes ago it was looking a little depressing, but I see it's clearing up, and rightfully so in Ocala. We're having a good day today.
We sure are, and it's a good day to be an American, amen? And it's a wonderful country we live in. I do got a couple of announcements before we get into the show. Post 27 of the American Legion, which is located right in downtown Ocala on that cute little lake there in Tuscaloosa Park. They got a lot going on lately. They're holding a rifle raffle, probably somewhere right around Memorial Day. And the neat thing about this raffle is they're only selling 500 tickets. It's a 308 bolt action with a red field scope, 40 by 3 by 9. It comes with a hard case. It's a beautiful rifle. If you want to take a look at it, it's at Jerry's Pawn Shop, and you can also buy your ticket at Jerry's. They've also got a very unique dance happening on May 23rd. It's a World War II style dance with live music and everything to go with it, some finger foods, and that's going to be on May 23rd from 6 to 10. It's going to be a really nice event. If you want more information about that or you'd like a ticket, tickets are $20. You can call Joe Vogue at 352-553-3220 or Dennis Rose at 352-425-0500. And also, we have our meetings, of course, on the first Tuesday of the month at 6:30. But this Tuesday is going to, or this upcoming meeting in May, the first one, we're going to have a chili cook-off. So why don't you come and have some chili with us? There's going to be prizes for the mildest chili, the tastiest chili, and the chili with the most unusual ingredients. But when you're making chili with unusual ingredients, you got to make sure that these ingredients are edible. We don't want nuts and bolts or anything in the chili. So come and join us and have a good time. All right, for today's show, I was thinking about it last night, and you listen to the news and you hear what's going on, and we get some World War II vets come in the office one time, and being the son of a World War II vet, I got to hear a lot of World War II stories, firsthand, and I've always really been interested in World War II. It was a war that, we took a lot of heavy losses in, and it's a big part of our history. We still have some World War II veterans around, thank God, and we need to love them and we need to cherish them while we got them. And we have some that come in the office, like I say, and they sit there and they share their stories. And, I just love that time with them. So I thought about today's date, April 2015. World War II was quite a while ago, and like I said, we don't have too many World War II veterans with us these days, but the ones we do have, make sure you tell them you love them. So I wanted to talk a little bit about April in 1942. The reason I picked 1942 was, of course, the war started at the end of 1941. In 1942, as I looked at the events, in April, things were still looking pretty gloomy. Like Don said, this started out to be a gloomy day. Of course, wars are always gloomy. But on April 23rd, 1942, the German air raids begin against Great Britain. And we know they lasted a long time and a lot of loss of life, a lot of loss, to our allies there. And over in the Pacific, now, like I said, most of these incidents sound negative. I'll save the good one for last. On April 3rd, the Japanese attacked U.S. and Filipino troops in Bataan. And I'm sure all of us seen movies about this and whatnot, and it was a pretty harrowing incident. And then April 6th of 1942, the first U.S. troops arrive in Australia. April 9th of 1942, U.S. forces on Bataan surrender unconditionally to the Japanese. What a sad day. Just a terrible incident there. And the very next day, April 10th, the ill-famed Bataan Death March begins. 76,000 Allied and POWs, including 12,000 Americans, were forced to walk 60 miles in the blazing sun without food or without water to a new POW camp. And this death march, that's why it's called the Death March, resulted in over 5,000 American deaths. Now, having been an infantry soldier, I've done some 60-milers, but never without food or water, and surely not in that kind of time or under those conditions. So I could just imagine, and to have these people see their comrades fall like that, Don, and if they went to help them, they were probably beaten to death and then laid there on the road themselves.
Gary, we need to take a little break, and we'll be right back.
Sure.
This is WOCA Ocala. We'll be right back with Veterans News.
The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Safe boating is no accident. More clouds and sunshine for today with a shower or thunderstorm this afternoon or this evening. High between 85 and 87. Later on tonight, partly cloudy, low 65 to 70. Partly sunny for the day tomorrow with a high between 80 and 86. And then for Saturday, partly sunny, and we'll have a warm afternoon with a high Saturday between 87 and 90. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Brian Thompson.
Whether you're building it up or knocking it down, get it done, rent it now. Sunbelt Rentals is here to make your job a little easier. Our knowledgeable staff will help you find the right equipment for any job, big or small. Did you know that Sunbelt Rentals carries heaters, air conditioners, generators, lighting, traffic control, and so much more? So whether you're building it up or knocking it down, we've got the equipment you need. Get it done, rent it now. And right now, for a limited time, you can have it for less. Just by mentioning this ad, if you rent it Friday afternoon, you can keep it the whole weekend and only pay for one day. But this is a limited time offer, so stop into Sunbelt Rentals today, Northwest 27th, just a quarter mile east of I-75. For more information, just give us a call, 352-369-9101. 352-369-9101. Sunbelt Rentals. Get it done, rent it now. 352-369-9101.
One of the most common questions those nearing retirement are asking, will I outlive my money? Retirement questions like these and many more will be answered every Saturday morning at 9 a.m. on Planning for a Better and Safer Retirement with hosts Francois and Julian Pozenet. Francois and Julian will help you put your retirement puzzle together. Catch Planning for a Better and Safer Retirement Saturdays at 9 a.m. on Ocala's News Talk, The Source 96.3 FM and 1370 AM.
Kenny's Place Nursery offers horticulture training for the mentally handicapped, and that makes them beautiful people in my book. And those beautiful people have some beautiful plants and flowers on sale, like annuals in 4-inch pots for only $1 each. A 3-gallon bottle brush plant for only $8. Confederate jasmine, 3 gallons for $8. How about azaleas, 1 gallon for only $4.25. And a 2-gallon pot of knockout roses for only $17. Call 352-867-1213 for Kenny's Place Nursery.
The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Safe boating is no accident. More clouds and sunshine for today with a shower or thunderstorm this afternoon or this evening. High between 85 and 87. Later on tonight, partly cloudy, low 65 to 70. Partly sunny for the day tomorrow with a high between 80 and 86. And then for Saturday, partly sunny, and we'll have a warm afternoon with a high Saturday between 87 and 90. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Brian Thompson.
All right, 20 minutes after 9 o'clock. Let's return to Veterans News and Gary Pascale. We didn't mean to interrupt you, Gary, but we needed to take that break.
Okay, well, that's all right. Don mentioned that also on April 16th that we celebrate the Holocaust Memorial. And, we lost was it 6 million altogether, 5 million Jews and 1 million other people in the Holocaust. Of course, in 1942, most people in the United States were unaware that these atrocities were going on in Europe, but we would find out in a few years. Moving through April, you could imagine from these things that we just talked about how gloomy things were looking. And I was not alive then, and Don said he was only 2 years old back then, so that's a long time. But, I remember talking from my parents. It had to be depressing. We think the news is depressing now, but the morale in the country was very low, and the president wanted to do something to boost the morale. And what they decided to do was something very unprecedented, Don. They wanted to launch an attack of B-25 bombers off a carrier, and they wanted to bomb the Japanese homeland to boost the morale. Now, how could they pull off a thing like that?
Florida had an important part in that thing because the training took place in the Gulf of Mexico, up at I think it was White's Field, and they brought this aircraft down to Florida. And that's where they trained, and matter of fact, to take, where they had, say, like a mile runway, but an aircraft carrier, which they finally used, wasn't a mile long. And so those men were, dedicated and handpicked for that mission because we needed the morale with the war going on in Europe and the Pacific. Our morale, and we've lost a lot of territory during that time, and so we had to recover from those losses.
Territory and people.
Yeah.
And it's hard pressed. There's few pilots that can get a fighter off a carrier. The Navy pilots and Marine pilots, they're a special breed. But getting a B-25 off a carrier, that's hard to imagine. I've seen file footage of it, but they took off the U.S. Hornet. Now, the unique thing about this mission, Don, was they knew they wouldn't come back to the carrier. There was no U.S. base to land. So once they unloaded their payload on Japan, and let me add this, they were instructed not to hit any civilian targets. It was just military targets, and they had to overfly Japan and then land in the ocean somewhere on the other side, and they had to resort to getting in rafts. Could you imagine how those pilots felt, leaving, not knowing that they had no safe place to land afterwards? Well, but they did it anyway.
Yeah, and the alternative was the fields that they had available were in China.
Yes.
And so they had to, in the distance, because now they lost some time because of this Japanese fishing boat that the fleet ran into when they were going to proceed towards their mission. They figured this would do this, and if they took off early, which they had to do, then they would also cost those planes fuel and to get to China, and then they put them in jeopardy, and a lot of them really did.
Yeah, and it was a risky mission, but it worked. They did drop the bombs, and as news of World War II, and we'll talk about this on shows in the future, things get better. The tide does turn, and praise God, we win, don't we?
That's right.
And we just want to, again, a special salute to our World War II veterans, and thank you, veterans, for your courage. And if it wasn't for you, folks like me and Don and Larry, we wouldn't even be here, would we?
Right.
We want to thank the governor also. Larry handed me a thing that Governor Rick Scott awarded more than 200 Florida veterans a Veteran Service Award for their service to both Florida and the nation. And I'm from West Palm Beach, so the ceremony was held in the National Guard Armory right there in my old hometown of West Palm Beach. So thank you, Governor Scott, for honoring veterans. And speaking of World War II, just a couple of days ago, I guess this was, Larry, that you handed me, we had another honor flight,
Yep.
Washington.
This one from Clearwater.
And, Florida's done a lot of them. We did one right out of Ocala here. This is a great thing. They send World War II veterans to see the long-awaited World War II monument and all the other monuments in Washington. And each veteran gets a veteran escort. It's a great thing. So, support this all you can. And if you know a World War II veteran that hasn't gone yet and would like to go, Google this honor flight and, see if you can get the veteran on the next one because, like I say, in a lot of cases, sadly, World War II was a long time ago and we don't want to run out of time. I do have a trivia question if we have time.
Okay, sure. You got a few minutes. I got like 4 minutes.
Okay, I got two $10 Target cards, which is $20, okay? We'll go back to a happier year, 1941, a great year in baseball. It was a year of the streaks. People like DiMaggio and whatnot had streaks. But there was one that stands out, a great Marine, Ted Williams. He wrapped up 1941 with a batting average that's never been overturned. It was the highest one, and all these years it's still. If you can give me what that batting average was for that Marine pilot, Ted Williams, in 1941, you got these 2 tickets. I'll leave them here with Larry. So make sure you give him contact information if you want to go ahead and call and tell me what that batting average is. And you got to be right on the money.
Oh, okay. Right on. You ready to take a call?
I'm ready to take a call.
You'll put your headset on. You'll be able to hear the caller. Can you hear me, Gary?
Yes.
Okay. Good morning. You're on the air with Gary. What do you think?
Good morning. How about, does 4:30 sound right?
No, you're a little high.
Okay, thanks.
A little high. All right. Okay, let's try another one. Good morning. You're on the air. What do you think?
Yeah, are you looking for the batting average you finished out with?
Yeah, Ted Williams' batting average in 1941 that he finished up with.
401.
A little low.
A little low?
A little low.
Okay, thank you.
So 430 was too high and 401 was too low. Right?
Yeah.
So somewhere between there.
And, what an amazing Marine Ted Williams was. What an amazing American. With the kind of stats he put up, even through later years. He missed, I think, 7 major league seasons in the prime of his life to serve his country in the Marine Corps. I just can't imagine a greater American. I never got to meet him, but he lived right here in Citrus County, and there's a museum down there, so if you get a chance, you definitely might want to go see him.
Yeah, see the museum, yeah. Gary, we got about a minute and a half left if you want to wrap it up. Okay. We don't have a winner yet, so I guess you could try it again if you want to. Somewhere between 401 and 430, right?
Yeah. 401 was pretty close.
Oh, okay, so it's closer to 401.
Well, Don, you got anything to add before we close out?
It's getting better every minute.
Hold on, we have
this one to hear.
Another caller. Good morning. What do you think?
Go ahead.
402?
Yeah, it's still a little low.
Okay, they moved that museum from Citrus County to Tampa to where the Rays play baseball.
Oh, did they? Oh, all right.
Okay.
I'll have to get back down there then.
Oh, wow. Gosh, you're going to have to hold. Thank you for the call. You have to hold those gift cards for another day.
Yeah, I guess we do. Sorry you missed it. Should I go ahead and give him the answer or no?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
Okay, his batting average was 406.
406, oh,
yeah,
man.
406. And after a certain point in the season, after July, it never fell below 397. So, what a hitter Ted was. God bless Ted, God bless the Marines, and God bless America.
Radio, I'm Lillian Wu. The president's choice to be the nation's top cop expected to get a vote today.
She was nominated